Good evening and welcome to Thursday Night Live, the T2 Challenge. Hi, everybody. I am Mark Thompson, joined by the High Performance Director of USA Table Tennis, Sean O'Neill, as we get ready for Week 8 of what is the Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge event. Sean, it is a big night tonight. I don't want to put too much pressure on young Sheth, but he is carrying the water tonight for the Team Nataku, down 5-2 to Team Butterfly. And it is Joanna Sung on the other side who could throw the knockout punch tonight for Team Butterfly.
One match away for Team Butterfly. Joanna Sung, she does lose. We have her sister coming next week. So we've got the Sung sisters, the right-handed version tonight. So I've watched Ved warm up. He's looking very sharp, very good footwork, super focus. We should have an outstanding match this evening.
Yeah, this is Week 8. If you've been following the Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge, it has been kind of a seesaw battle a bit. It was Team Butterfly who jumped out to a 3-0 lead in matches. It is the team that wins 6 matches first that's going to win the extra prize money on the line, which, as noted, is on the line tonight. Because right now, it is a 5-2 lead for Team Butterfly. Team Nataku had closed the margin a little bit there, Sean, until last week. It was Lily Zhang coming through with a big victory over Aditya Gadwani. Good match, but Lily was just really too much last week for Adi Gadwani.
Yeah, her experience really shined brightly. Adi played some excellent table tennis, had some really strong backhand rips, hit a couple backhand down the lines, really showed how much he's improved from the Olympic trials. We see that trajectory continuing to go up. But in the end, Lily was just a little bit sharper on the short game, getting her openings to the better positions, and she got the win for her team.
Yeah, you've noted it tonight. It is Sheth versus Joanna Sung. It is another battle of the genders. So again, I don't want to put too much pressure on young Ved, but he's carrying the water as well for the males, because thus far it has been the females in the battles of the battles of the gender who has had the more success, including Lily Zhang last week. In the 5 matches that males have played against females thus far in the Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge, 3 of the victories have gone to the females and 2 to the males. So Ved's got another task tonight to try to keep up the honor for us guys.
Yeah, and I think that Ved playing at ICC, which is such a strong and wonderful club, they've been responsible for so many members of our national team. The boys play against the girls all the time. So that's nothing new. So I don't think he's going to feel the same pressure as what we've seen in Westchester or maybe in Houston, is that he's seeing a very strong opponent. Joanna has played international for Team USA. Ved has played outstanding at the US Open and various tournaments as well. So I don't think he's going to feel that secondary pressure that maybe some of the Tom Fang or the Kai Jungs might feel if they're playing against Lu Juan or maybe some of the other players like Lily.
Yeah, you know that young Ved is on the trajectory upward. You look at what he did at the 2019 U.S. Open in Fort Worth. He actually got a bronze medal for the cadet boys single, and in there he also in the doubles for the cadet boys got a silver medal there, and in the teams for cadet boys picked up a bronze. He's a young player. From what you've described to me, Sean, you've had the opportunity to watch him a number of times. He's a very energetic player, and the last thing that Joanna Sung wants to do is to give him that opportunity to become that dynamo, to become that powerful force out on the court tonight.
Yeah, with Ved's game, it's very straightforward. He's a hard worker. He tries to get his offense going and kind of just chugging one shot after another. He's not a big shot hitter where he'll knock himself out of position. Very similar to Canuck, where he'll work the ball, very solid on the backhand side, nice technique on the forehand, very good footwork. But I would say if you wanted to compare it to tennis, maybe a little bit more like French Open than Wimbledon. Likes to work the point like Nadal, get the upper hand, and then extend it like 60%, 40% of having the upper hand versus just hitting winners left and right. So Joanne, she really needs to pay attention to, if he has enough time to get his game going, that's when he's going to be at his best. Joanne takes the ball so nicely off the bounce, and her strokes are clean. Her placements are very targeted. It's going to be a nice contrast, very similar to what we saw last week with Lily and Adi.
Yeah, Joanna is the veteran of the two here. She's 16 years of age. Her rating 2305 right now at USATT. You've noted that she has played on the international stage as well. 2019, she was in the World Cadet Challenge in Poland, representing North America. So she's played on the big stage as well. I don't think she'll be overwhelmed tonight playing in the Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge against Sheth.
Right. And with a great twin sister, with Rachel, she sees high quality practice. I know that when we started in the COVID lockdown, that they were able to continue to train. That was something that really, so I know that Ved continued to do his push-ups, his sit-ups. He was winning the USATT Summer Challenge every week, it seemed. So he was on his game. Joanna, Rachel, they were continuing to practice with each other. So I think we're in store for a great matchup tonight with two really up-and-coming junior stars that we have great things to see in the future.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's an advantage, I suppose, to having a twin sister, as Joanna does have with Rachel. You noted this as well, Sean, that Rachel plays from the left side, Joanna plays from the right. So that's going to be an interesting mix as well as we watch tonight. Ved is also a right-handed player, so we got two righties going tonight there at ICC.
Yeah, so I think that easier for Ved to play Joanna than it would be Rachel. Rachel's a step maybe a little bit stronger, and that's due to the left-handedness, the international experience. She is a member, Rachel, the left-handed sister, she's a member of the ITTF stipend program where they help with some additional international events. The program is with the future in mind, so they're kind of looking at her to possibly participate in the Youth Olympics. They've selected various players from around the world, and for Team USA, we do have Canuck Ja, Lily Jung, and then also Rachel Sun. But clearly having a twin that you can count on to practice, there's no better practice partner.
In this time, certainly it'll keep you motivated. We'll play, of course, under the T2 rules tonight. There's no deuce in T2. If you play to a regular game to 11, there is a 24-minute clock that runs. If that clock runs out, any game started after 24 minutes, it would be played to 5, the fast 5. It's something that all the players have to adjust to, Sean, when you play in the T2 Challenge, is that you have to be cognizant of the fact that at a certain point, the games could shorten down to 5 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a quick sudden death. I think we're going to get a chance to maybe see some highlights from the last week match between Lily Jung and Adi Gadwani. So we're going to see if we can get that going.
Yeah, this was a really good match last week at ICC, Sean. I thought Lily looked in great physical condition. She just played an exceptional match against Adi Gadwani last week.
And both players looked extremely sharp. I mean, really making some nice highlights. You can just see the power of Adi on the forehand side.
Yeah, Adi's an up-and-coming player in the national program, and there's a good example of how powerful he can be when he steps around the ball. That's what he wanted to do, I think, more so last week against Lily, is get that opportunity to step around on the forehand. She just didn't give him the opportunities that he needed.
Yeah, and there's that great backhand down the line we saw by Adi, but here's the short game. Lily getting that first ball in. Again, Adi made a number of great counterattacks, but Lily just finally got her attack in, made her backhands land, and just kept the pressure on.
Well, that's a good example of Adi right there, battling off Lily, despite the fact that she had 3 or 4 good opportunities to put him away and she was unable to do it.
And there you saw Lily finding a little bit of the open court there, and Lily's short game, very strong, and of course her backhand is her trademark. Puts a lot of pressure on the opponent, not giving them enough time to react.
One of the things I really loved about Lily last week, too, is the way she mixed up her serves, Sean. I likened her to kind of a pitcher in baseball. You never got the same thing twice. Kept Adi off balance to a certain degree.
Very deliberate, takes her time, thinks 2 shots ahead often, always will play that serve into a location where the opponent feels uncomfortable.
You know, watching those two players last week, Sean, it really did stand out to me to what really good people they are as well. The sportsmanship between the two of them, the way they respected one another on the court. Of course, you always expect that from Lily. She's a great champion. And Adi Gadwani, he's an up-and-coming star in the national program.
And yes, and Lily, with that victory, she placed her team 1 match away. So giving Joanna a chance to kind of hit that final field goal with no seconds on the clock to get the W. I'm just really looking forward to. I mean, all the matches at ICC have just been really tremendous. I mean, the playing quality, the conditions, the help that we've received with James Goodwin and Rajul and everyone. It's really made Thursday Night Live just a real treat to be part of.
Yeah, you mentioned Rajul Sheth, who there he runs the ICC facility in Milpitas, California. They've turned out so many great players. You know, we talk about Lily and Kanak Ja and others. There are so many others in the pipeline at ICC as well. It's just a very fertile ground of the development of young table tennis players in America.
And I've been very fortunate. Rajul has invited me out to help with the summer camps, and their summer camps are amazing. From the last day of school until school starts, they normally will have 60 to 90 kids training all day long. Quality coaches. They brought in Gao Jun, Stellan Banks, and Zoran Kalinic, players from all over the world, all over the U.S., to give their club players a chance to learn from the top players without having to travel to go abroad, to go to another state, but they can stay at home. And the parents are super supportive. And the ICC community, especially with Anil Gadwadi, the original founder, I mean, it's just a great family atmosphere, and they've done some amazing things in Milpitas.
You know, we're not allowed to root. I'm not rooting, but I wouldn't mind getting the opportunity to see Rachel Song play next week at ICC against Aziz Zarabin. It'd be a very interesting match as well. I'm not wishing bad luck for Joanna Song here, but by the same token, it would be nice to get that fourth match at ICC. We've talked about this. There are 11 matches scheduled. This is the 8th week. We're hopeful. I mean, it's like in hockey. I always root for Game 7. Say, what team are you rooting for? I'm rooting for Game 7. I'm rooting for match 11 in this one as well, Sean. Although I expect tonight that we'll see two very competitive players trying to throw the knockout punch for Joanna, and Ved trying to keep things alive.
It'll be very interesting mentally for Ved to see if he feels the additional pressure to keep his team's hope alive. If he gets down 2-1 or 3-1, how does he deal with that? I mean, he has the entire team's weight on his shoulder. The team is playing for an additional $2,000, basically, that'll be split up among the 8 or 9 players. So I know he wants to win. He's a young gun. He's going out there to just do everything that he can, but his teammates are counting on him to extend this amazing Thursday Night Live event that we've put on.
You know, Sean, we've talked about this a lot. Table tennis, it's considered an individual sport unless you're playing doubles, obviously. But it's something that I think Team USA is really trying to develop, is this feeling of team camaraderie, because it does develop strength with each player as you develop that willingness to sacrifice for the team. You and I have been fortunate enough to be involved in a number of interviews with the group from Sweden that developed in the late 80s and early 90s. And that was a consistent theme in those interviews with those great players of how important it was to have teammates pushing you and rooting for you. And I think that that's something that I see under you, under Virginia Song as the CEO, and others at USA Table Tennis, trying to develop this team camaraderie to try to develop players that can play on the international stage.
Well, clearly, the better you know your teammates, the more confidence and trust you have in them, and the same is true at the coaching level. So what we're trying to do as much as possible is to get the players to think we come together as a team, we train hard, and then we play international as a group, right? We're not actually trying to outdo each other, although you want to have your best performance. So I think starting with the juniors, we've seen it at the Hopes, at the mini cadets, the cadets, the more competition, the better. And I think these events like Thursday Night Live is just one more way that we can support the U.S. players on the national team with prize money, with additional team opportunities, especially as we come out of COVID.
All right, Sean, why don't you and I step out for just a moment? We'll let them tee up the match as it gets ready here to come up at the top of the hour. Of course, for Thursday Night Live, the T2 Challenge, it's week 8. It is Ved Sheth playing on behalf of Team Nataku, taking on Joanna Song at ICC in Milpitas, California. Mark Thompson, Sean O'Neill, looking forward to a great match. Just be back up in just a moment to start things up. right, welcome back. Thursday Night Live, the T2 Challenge. It is week 8. It's Team Butterfly up 5 matches to 2, trying to close things out tonight behind the play of Joanna Song representing Team Butterfly. On the other side is Team Nataku trying to keep things alive. It is the first Team 2 6 wins that ends up winning the Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge. And it is Sheth who has the weight of his team on his shoulders tonight as Joanna Song and Ved play at ICC, Milpitas, California. I'm Mark Thompson. I'm joined by Sean O'Neill, the High Performance Director for USA Table Tennis. We've kind of set the stage here, Sean, for Joanna and Ved to play tonight and in at ICC in Milpitas, California. Looking forward to what should be a very good match against two young and up-and-coming players.
Two very close players that really it's a pick-em match. We'll see who's playing stronger tonight, who's able to get their strengths into play, but it should be an outstanding match ahead of us.
And of course, the way Thursday Night Live has worked over the course of the prior 7 weeks and as we go forward, there are actually 11 matches that are set. 22 players are involved. We'd love to go the entire 11, but it is the first team to 6 victories in matches that will end up winning the extra prize money. Each player, as they play on their individual night, is playing for prize money. The winner takes $1,000, and the person who ends up on the wrong side of the stick ends up with $500. But there are additional monies involved for the team that wins. So it's a big event for the players themselves as to who comes out with the victory in tonight's matchup. Right now, this is the third of what are 4 possible matches that will play at ICC. It is the loser each week who gets to pick his teammate. I think it's a very interesting format. It's something that actually the chief executive officer of USA Table Tennis came up with, Virginia Thumb. I thought it was a great concept from day one, Sean, to have the loser pick their teammate, but presumably you're going to try to pick the person who you think is going to win the next week, which certainly would make the actual event very tight.
Yeah, I think the logic was very similar to the NBA draft, where the teams that don't make the playoffs get the first pick. So going for parity, going for as many tight matches, and I think we've got a great one tonight. The whole goal is if you lose, you need to help your team and to be able to get a chance to pick the remaining players in that region, whether it was Westchester, whether it's Houston, now we're at ICC, and then we'll go down south if we need to go the full 11. So interesting concept, and I know that the team in Singapore with T2, they thought it was very creative as well.
You know, teed up for next week at ICC, you've got Rachel Song and Aziz Zarabin sitting there, and one would presume the only way we get there is if Joanna Song, playing for Team Butterfly, were to lose tonight. One would presume, Sean, that she would pick her twin sister, but you never know. I mean, the way things work in life, I think she'd want to have her sister, but you don't know how that ultimate decision would go.
The full weight of the Sung family for Team Butterfly. So, yeah, it's if we get to next week, it'll be amazing. But Ved, he's got his
11 points. There is a 24-minute clock running. Any game that started within that 24 minutes of that clock is a regular game. You play straight up to 11. We've seen many games go 10-10 with game point coming down to the 11th point. Any game started after the 24-minute clock runs is
top. Now, it's not to say that if you have a stellar defense where your block, you control the table well, that can't put pressure because you're scoring points. But so far what we've seen, I think Adar Algueti was one of the first players to just really show that if you come out strong and you're only going up to 5, Jennifer Wu did that also in her match with Paul Leibovitz. It puts a lot of pressure. It really just makes that other player feel like they've got to come up with a bigger shot. And that initial pressure can often cause a weaker, luckier shot to occur. So like in wrestling, grab them by the legs first, take them down, keep the pressure on them. So I think that what we'll see tonight is,
look at the competition regulations. We've noted there are 22 players scheduled to play. This is the 8th week. 2 teams, Team Butterfly, led by Captain David Sakai, and Team Pitaku with their captain, Patty Martinez. Wasserman trying to catch up with David Sakai. The loser of 5-second maximum limit between games. The clock continues to run. There's a 30-second towel break, and the clock runs in that as well. The only time the clock stops, Sean, is when either player calls their timeout. Each player is permitted 1 timeout. That's the only time that we'll see the clock stop, unless the umpire, who in tonight's match is Yuve Lee is the umpire in tonight's matchup, and the umpire can actually stop the clock as well. If you look at the tail of the tape, it's Joanna Sung, plays from the right side, two-wing looper, plays with the shake hand style against Ved Sheth. Just 14 years old. Ved is the righty as well. He's an attacker, plays from the shake hand. What do you expect tonight, Sean, between Joanna and Ved?
I think it's going to come down to if Joanna can control the tempo and not allow Ved an opportunity to get his offense going. Similar to last week where we saw Lily Jung playing against Adi Gadwani. See the ladies trying to control the tempo, whereas the gentlemen are trying to get their big shots in as early as possible. The timing often comes that way.
It looks like it is going to be, I thought it was going to be Ved who's going to start off. Actually, the players are still in warm-up right now, and the player closest to us on our screen is Joanna Sung, and the player farthest away, Ved Sheth, playing for Team Nitaku, trying to keep his team alive here in Week 8 for the Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge. And it appears that the serve is going to go to Ved Sheth to start things off in Week 8. Serving from the far side. Game 1 of what is a best of 7. The clock is underway, and we are underway here at ICC. And just that quickly, it is I think that was a net serve, actually. Sure if they're just still in the warm-up here. They have not registered a point. It's actually 1-1 is what it should be, and the serve coming across to Joanna. He takes the 2-1 lead here in Game 1.
Beautiful backhand opening by Joanna. Nicely down the line. And Ved with a very aggressive serve. I mean, we saw that again last week. It's kind of a preview of this week where the players really mixed the deep serves up extremely well, keeping the opponent backing off.
So nice return that time by Joanna Sung, and Ved dumped it into the net, and a 4-2 lead right now for Joanna. Oh, beautiful forehand that time by Ved down the line off the edge of the paddle of Joanna, and it's now a 4-3 lead for Joanna Sung.
Ved doing an excellent job on the deep serve, keeping the tempo, keeping the ball nice and low. Really impressed with Joanna. Great footwork, great balance. Oh, great shot by Ved in the backcourt. Great backhand counterattack. I was wondering if he was going to maybe step on one of the balls back there against the barriers, but he came up with the shot. And look at that backhand by Joanna. Excellent stepping into the middle, getting that backhand into play.
Joanna takes the lead again here at 6-5 with the serve in Game 1.
Again, Joanna has a great backhand opening, gives her a lot of options. Oh, big power by Ved. Nicely done. A little bit of a change of pace on the block, took some side spin, put it on the ball, got the pop-up, came in with the big forehand.
Seen that a couple of times from Ved here in the early going. Got some power for a young man there, just 14 years of age.
Again, both players liking to serve with their forehand. A little bit of a shovel serve, a little inside out. And Joanna, beautiful forehand loop cross court. Great technique.
She takes I believe that's a 2-point lead right now for Joanna Sung at 8-6.
Oh, what a highlight shot by Ved. Another big lobbing come from behind. Beautiful forehand. What outstanding play.
Ved deep in the court with those lobs, getting them back on, picking his moment, coming up with the hard forehand, wins that point, draws within one. Oh, another beautiful shot that time. Actually, that went long.
Yeah, just caught the top of the net. I mean, he had the shot he wanted, but ever so close and just went long.
Not that time, though. Good power shot, forehand by Sheth. Draws within one at 8-9, and the serve.
Both players fighting for this first game.
And that brings us to even as the return goes long from Joanna Sung. You're right, Sean. Both of these players are on edge tonight, not giving any quarter whatsoever.
Ved has just been amazing in the backcourt. Oh, and Ved with a nice deep push to the backhand. Joanna was looking very strong in that rally, getting her trademark backhand loop opening, and now facing game point down.
And she draws it to the 10-10, of course, with no deuce in the T2 format. Somebody's going to win game one right about now. And this has been a battle right off the hop between these two.
Oh, what a big forehand by Joanna. Ved went for the risky deep forehand serve into the backhand. Joanna turns the corner, has sister Rachel in her corner, and just really drove that forehand with Ved in the backcourt, just keeping the ball in play and then turning it around, both with a forehand attack and a backhand from the barriers. Both these players are delivering with the excitement.
It's interesting, Sean, because we've had some great matches at Thursday Night Live in the T2 Challenge, but I think that may be my favorite game that I've seen so far. Just the two of them, that was almost like a prize fight between the two of them, battling it out, long rallies, and lots of exceptional strikes that were returned back on the table.
Yeah, just toe-to-toe. I mean, maybe there was like one or two errors, but the rest of it was just winners. So Joanna drawing first blood, game one, and she's got the serve.
Ved comes right out with some real nice backhands that time. Takes point one of game two. Down one game to none to Joanna Sung.
I mean, Joanna played a great, very strong backhand opening, and Ved just jumped on top of it and drove it right back down the line. That one, Ved was a little bit anxious on that one, reaching out for the ball. He's got to be patient, take his time, let that ball come all the way out before going after it.
Oh, really nice serve that time by Ved. Short on the table, and Joanna dumped it into the net. I'm not sure she was ready for that, Sean.
Yeah, she has great reach with her height, but Ved placed it perfectly. And there's this trademark backhand. I mean, that's actually kind of legendary Lily Jung, the strong backhand opening that all the kids have seen her do at the ICC over the years.
Oh, great series of forehands there, but it goes long. It's 3-3 here in game two. Joanna Sung leading one game to none. At the game point on a 10-10, essentially the tiebreaker in game one. And now 3-3 here in game two.
Very solid play by Ved. Very happy to go toe-to-toe with Joanna, both moving the ball around, staying up to the table. Very smart tactics. Oh, that's just great play. I mean, Ved just really did an outstanding job. The serve and receive, keeping the attack going, and then staying close to the table.
Let's return that time. He goes long, 5-4 right now.
Ved's really trying to play a lot of these serve returns deep into the backhand side, so Joanne doesn't have as much of an opportunity to jump on the offense. But we're back again. One of these off-the-table lobbing opportunities. And that time, Joanna finds the open court on the forehand side. But great all-court movement by Sheth.
As we've been for most of this match, back to even, 5-5 in game 2. That was a good return of service that time by Joanna, but an excellent response by Ved, who takes the 6-5 lead here in game 2.
And Ved has to make that opening. He cannot afford to lose some of those easy points there.
He is really working that short serve, Sean, to the forehand side. Joanna, she is tall and long. She's able to reach out there and play that shot.
He wants to get Joanna out of her backhand corner as quickly as possible.
Now the lead back to Sheth at 7-6 here at ICC Milpitas, California. Two young stars going at it Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge.
And that ball also clipped the top of the net. Now Ved has a little bit of breathing room here in game 2. Oh, beautiful combination there by Ved. The deep serve and then the quick off the bounce backhand loop. And he's inching ever closer to 11 points.
Again, the backhand long from Joanna Sung. And we've got game point for Sheth, actually 5 of them. And that does it here in game 2 as Sheth picks up and runs with it late in that game and goes from essentially what was 6-6, Sean, and runs off 5 consecutive points to win 11-6 in game 2 and even this matchup at 1 game apiece.
Ved just did an outstanding job standing toe-to-toe and neutralizing Joanna's tempo. Joanna got her openings in. Ved was able to control that first backhand loop. And again, as you said, Mark, Ved's playing short to the forehand, wide deep to the backhand, trying to really make her cover a lot of territory to get into these fast-paced rallies. But Ved's forehand has been very solid. I mean, he's landing it on the forehand side and driving it. We've got to keep an eye on that clock, though, because as we've gone 2 games in, we've already passed the 50%, the 12-minute mark.
Yeah, I got the feeling we're going to see some fast 5 tonight between these two. Very even match. Sheth, who seems very comfortable, Sean, playing deep as well. He's not afraid to get off the table, get those lobs back on, and then pick his moment to kind of force the offense after he's done that.
And I think it goes along with his style. When he's out of position, he plays the safe ball on the table. He doesn't go for a close your eyes, just hit it as hard as you can. So these first 5 points in this game, I think, will tell us a lot momentum-wise.
The first one does go to Sheth. But evening things up at 1 is Joanna Sung as that shot from Ved went long, and the serve coming across to Joanna Sung. 1-1 in games, 1-1 in points.
Once again, Ved staying short to the forehand side, really trying to get her out of the backhand corner. Oh, great step around. That was reminiscent of Joanna stepping around Ved's serve at 10-10 at the end of game 1. Excellent anticipation.
Wow. 4-1 lead here for Ved. I know that you made this comment off the air, Sean, that you see certain elements of Sheth's game that remind you of one Kanak Ja. And just watching him here, I'm seeing some of that myself as well.
Yeah, just very systematic, great forehand counterattack there. We've seen Kanak do that not only in the U.S. at the U.S. Nationals, but also internationally when he's playing for Germany. The ability to take those weaker openings and just turn them into offensive opportunities. But Ved is playing super at this moment.
Yeah, he's actually won 10 of the last 11 points, lead 5-1 here in game 3.
And there, Joanna mixing up the side spin on the serve. I really like the way that when she sets up for her serve, she holds the racket in a lot of different positions, gives you a lot of different looks, and then she'll change it at the last moment.
Another backhand long from Joanna. That's something she's going to have to start landing here. A little bit of kind of unforced errors. She's down 6-2 right now.
That time she did a much better job of playing the forehand down the line on the serve return. Didn't put a lot of pressure on the ball, but it didn't give Ved much to work with. That was a mistake. Joanna should not be pushing that deep push. Get your backhand loop in, especially maybe some of them out to the forehand side, because Ved knows they're coming to the backhand or middle.
Interesting. Ved went to the short on the forehand side, or excuse me, the short on the backhand side that time, different than he had earlier. It went long as well. It's now an 8-3 lead for Ved. That seemed to be an easy shot for Joanna. She just missed, Sean.
Yeah, she overstepped it just a little bit and went for extra. That backhand loop is going to serve her very well if she can establish that when Ved does push deep to her backhand side. Ved did a great job in the prior point when she pushed it back and he just jumped on top of it with his forehand.
And Ved Sheth leading by 4 here, 8-4 in game 3.
Oh, nice combination again. Wow. That was reminiscent of Adi Gadwani from last week, playing those strong backhands down the line. Joanna's battling back.
Serve comes across to Joanna Sung, down by 4. 9-5, Ved Sheth. And here with game point, and 6 of them is young Ved Sheth. 1-1 in games here, a best of 7.
Net serve.
And that's it for game 3. It is Ved Sheth as Joanna's forehand went long, 11-6 in game 3. A little bit more dominant performance that time by Ved Sheth, who came out storming. Built what at one point was a 5-1 lead and kept it all the way through, Sean, to win 11-6 here in game 3. Try to keep Team Nataku alive here at the Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge.
I mean, Ved has just done a better job of getting his game into this match. You see him changing the placement, short to the forehand, deep to the backhand. Occasionally he'll start straight deep into the backhand side. He's mixing his serves. Joanna needs to get her backhand going. She needs to establish that she can control the tempo. It's just a point here, a point there, but it's all in that momentum. When Ved can stay up to the table and not feel the pressure of Joanna's opening backhand, he has time to step around and use his forehand. Joanna has the opportunities. She's missed a couple of forehands, especially short to the middle. Needs to maybe step a little bit more to the left, give herself some more leverage there. But this is it's a must-win game for her right now.
Down 2-1 with the serve, Joanna Sung. Start off with a nice, long, powerful serve that time, Sean, and wins the first point of game 4.
If she can get into the backhand-to-backhand exchanges, I think she'll do fine. Again, Ved going back. Oh, beautifully well done, taking it off the bounce, Joanna. Shorter lob and used her height very effectively to play it wide out to the forehand side. Ved did everything he could to try to track it down, but that was just too wide of an angle.
Ved Sheth here and with the serve. And that goes long. So a shot from Joanna. It's now 2-2 here in game 4. And Ved Sheth leading in games 2-1. They're taking the 3-2 lead here in game 4. Oh, there it is again, Sean. That same shot that Ben has used on a number of occasions, kind of stepping around to the backhand side and punching it to the deep forehand corner on Joanna Song.
We talk about the great forehand step around. That's a great backhand step around where he plays the backhand to the open forehand side. Very well done, and just really on fire at this moment. It might be an opportunity for Joanna or for Team Sung to maybe think about even taking a timeout to slow down the freight train that Ved has been driving.
Joanna draws within 2 at 3-5 here in game 4, down 2-1 with the serve. Joanna Song. Nice serve that time. Beautiful to the forehand side. I don't think Ben was expecting that. He just could not get to that ball, Sean.
Excellent placement. Again, change of direction, mixing it up. But you don't want to do that one. You don't want to go for the deep serve and have it catch the top of the net and go wide to the side. That's going to cost her one.
Now it's 7-4 as that backhand goes long. That's something we've seen from Joanna Song, is a number of her backhands have gone long. Good attack on the forehand side that time by Joanna to draw within 2 again. Down 5-7 here in game 4.
Mark, I'm just really impressed by Ved's footwork, his fight to keep in all of these rallies. Joanne's really moving the ball around exceptionally well. And that time, Joanna's backhand just goes a little bit long.
Look, that Joanna was on the defense right off the hop on the third ball there on that great return from Sheth, and she trails by 3 here in game 4. An aggressive play by Sheth has opened up a 4-point lead at 9-5 and the serve.
He went for the shot down the line. It has paid dividends earlier in the match, but that time it just goes a little bit long. Lucky break there.
Set up off that short serve again. Now with game point and 5 of them, Sheth leading 2-1. And that is game 4 for Sheth, as that went off the net and out 11-6. So 3 consecutive 11-6 victories for young Sheth. Has him up with 3-1 on Joanna Song. We are going to get another regular game, Sean, as you look at the clock with 1:14.
Ved's just been playing really sharp. I mean, he's making his shots land. He's taking risks. He's going for it. Joanna just needs to keep the pressure well when dropping it to Joanna's forehand. That time she gave him a little taste of his own medicine.
Ved on the board as that one's into the net from Joanna. She has just got to avoid any unforced errors in this game 5, Sean. The backhand going long again. And at 2-2 here in game 5. Sheth with the serve.
And again, just really solid third ball attack by Ved. Deep serve, got a quality return, but jumping on it with his forehand. You see that time trying to set up the backhand attack on the third ball.
That one went long and wide, so we're at 3-3 here in game 5. Joanna Sung with the serve, down 3-1, trying to knock out Team Nataku as a member of Team Butterfly, but Sheth trying to keep the Team Nataku alive, and he leads 4-3 here in game 5.
And Ved has really found a perfect location, that short to the forehand. He's won a number of direct points off of that position.
Drawing within one is Joanna Song. Of course, you don't see the clock anymore in the lower left-hand corner of your screen because the 24-minute clock has run. Any games beyond this one would be fast 5 games if Joanna Song can get there.
And again, Ved's just doing an outstanding job keeping the ball nice and low, staying in the rallies, and then looking for the opportunity to both play the backhand and forehand out to Joanna's forehand side.
Good mix up with the serve that time by Joanna. Started things on a positive note, and she was able to claim what was the 11th point of the game now at 5-6 and the serve.
Nice combination by Ved, just forehand opening, continue with the forehands and backhands off the bounce. Just really nice balance, not going for too much, but keeping the pressure on.
And now with an 8-5 lead, Ved Sheth trying to close things out here in game 5, up 3-1 with the serve.
Oh, there's a nice forehand attack by Joanna. Really stepped in well, timed it, let it get to the top of the bounce before going for a very strong forehand flip. That's scary to go backhand to backhand with Joanna, but Ved gets the upper hand in that last exchange.
Solid backhand that time by Ved Sheth, and he's got match point, 5 of them on the board here at ICC in Milpitas, California.
Oh, Joanna with a great forehand, blocking counter, almost in a counter attack there, but excellent play on the forehand side to stay alive.
And that does it. The match goes to young Ved Sheth, 11-7 here in game 5, as he defeats Joanna Song, keeps Team Nataku alive here in the Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge with the victory. It went 10-11, 11-6, 11-6, 11-6, 11-7. Young Ved Sheth, Sean O'Neill, played excellently tonight, got his footing underneath him after game 1, and rang off 4 consecutive games to keep Team Nataku alive.
Ved just played outstanding. We saw a great sudden death point in game 1, and then from that point moving forward, it was all Ved Sheth. We saw him play backcourt lobs, counterattacks, some great backhands from the forehand side, some down the line shots. He really brought his A game tonight.
So we're going to get some more table tennis at ICC in Milpitas, California. Next week, it is going to be the twin sister of Joanna Song, Rachel Song, playing on behalf of Team Butterfly against Aziz Zarabin. I'm really looking forward to that match next Thursday night, Sean, with Rachel Song taking on Aziz.
Rachel's very strong as a lefty. We're going to see a lot of the same great backhand plays, moving the ball around. It should be an exceptional match.
All right, for Sean O'Neill, I'm Mark Thompson, the Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge. Congratulations to Ved Sheth and Team Nataku, still alive in the Thursday Night Live T2 Challenge. It's now 5-3, Team Butterfly leading. We'll see next week how it goes with Rachel Song taking on Aziz Zarabin. Have a great night, everybody. You've been listening to Thursday Night Live, the T2 Challenge, live on the USATT Table Tennis Network.